It's time to do some snow day cooking. So last night I cooked a 6-pound chicken in my Instant Pot and took it out, let it cool. You do this 6 minutes per pound. So actually my bird was almost 7. So I cooked it for 42 minutes in the Instant Pot, and then I let the pressure naturally release and let it cool. And then this morning I pulled the chicken off the bone, and then I placed the bones and some of the skin in here, and then tops of celery, some mushrooms, a whole onion, tops and bottoms of my carrots, and some turnip root ends. So I love turnip roots, they're good for you, and I just trim off the ends and the bottoms, put them in here. So now we're gonna cook this for at least 2 hours. So I'm gonna put it on pressure cook and let it cook for 2 hours, then take one of the bones out, see if they crumble. We'll be back. So after 2 hours, I take it out and I take some tongs and I take a bone and I try to squeeze it. If it does not squeeze and pop open like it's brittle, then it's not quite ready. So now I'll put this in for another hour at a time until those bones are brittle. Okay, I ended up going an hour and a half, and I got a bone here. I'm gonna try to just get the bone. And then I'm going to squeeze, and it softened. Now let me find it again. It fell into the abyss. Let's try to find another one. All right, here's a little bit better one. And see, it just smashed. So that means all the bone marrow has cooked out, and you can see inside you're just left with some just gunk, but it's mainly just a shell. And all of the good stuff inside the bones, there's another one. All of the good stuff inside the bones has cooked out. So now we'll drain it. So now I just pour it into a strainer with a pot underneath, and then I'm gonna go through with my tongs. And all of this, I'm just going to squeeze real good to get all of that liquid out. And you can push this through a smaller sieve if you wanted to. This is just the quickest and easiest way. Now let's talk about this. This you can grind up in really fine in a food processor and freeze it and take it out about 1/4 of a cup at a time to add to your dog's food. They love it. We call it dog pate. But I'm gonna move this just so you can see that rich bone broth. So this is super concentrated. So this will make about 3 quarts for me. I will add it to 2 quart jars about halfway, and then fill the rest of it with water. That way it is ready to use 1 quart at a time. Then I'll take the last portion of it and put it back into my Instant Pot, and we're gonna make soup today. So you can see I filled each of 2 containers about halfway full with the broth. I poured it through a sieve, and now I'm just gonna fill it to that filled top line with water. These will freeze beautifully. I will allow them to continue to cool, and then I'll stir them real good and before I put the tops on and place them in the freezer after they have cooled completely. Stay tuned for part 2 where we make soup.